Hi folks, how are you doing? Hope you're all okay. Update 2. So it's now Sunday and you'll probably be getting this on how long my internet takes to upload. You'll probably get 2021, 22 if you like. No, I'm only kidding. You'll probably be getting this Monday, probably Tuesday morning. I've got to go somewhere tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to. You guys will know who are close to me. So before I go in the morning, I will start the upload process, and obviously we'll just see you get it when you get it. So there you go. Right, update 2. Basically I've cracked on from where I was before. The Merkava is now done. I say done. Every time I look at it, I keep thinking, oh, I could just add this and I could just add that, and I think I'm going to gradually get to the process where it's getting too much, and it's just going to look ridiculous. I mean, I've put the Merkava on the Dio now. It will be added in a bit, where you'll have a look at it on the Dio, and I don't know, I just feel the Merkava is a bit big for the actual thing with the figures when the figures get added. But I suppose, you know, it's just a small Dio that's just going to tell a bit of a story, that's all. The Diorama, I've added a few more bits onto from what you've seen before. It's now done. I've just got to take the masking tape off the photo frame sides, and I just need to add the figures and the tank. The tank's easy because I won't attach it properly to it. I never do. I just add it on so that if I ever do wish to take it or enter it somewhere, I could just take it off and transport it separate. Again, I'm still relatively new to these dioramas. I've been doing them now for 2 years, but it sounds a long time, but really I've done 4, 5, if that, in 2 years. So I mean, if you count it to the likes of Mike Cohen and Chalky White and people like that, you know, they're diorama kings. You know, they reel them off. So yeah, this year hopefully, depending on tomorrow, I will be doing a couple more. But as I said in my video of what's ahead and all that, I don't want to tie myself down and add extra stress to a project with necessarily doing a diorama for every single one that I build. Beforehand, I used to love doing the odd build and just adding it to the shelf, you know, no story behind it or anything. So yeah, what I'll do is, this is the webcam, so I'll swap the cameras over and I'll put it so you can see it from a bit closer, and we'll point a few things out, and we'll go through what other bits I haven't gone through. I might repeat myself from what I've done in the previous video, but I can't really remember that, so we'll do it that way. So I'll see you in a minute. Hi folks, how are you doing? Hope you're all okay. Update 2. So it's now Sunday and you'll probably be getting this on how long my internet takes to upload. You'll probably get 2021, 22 if you like. No, I'm only kidding. You'll probably be getting this Monday, probably Tuesday morning. I've got to go somewhere tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to. You guys will know who are close to me. So before I go in the morning, I will start the upload process, and obviously we'll just see you get it when you get it. So there you go. Right, update 2. Basically I've cracked on from where I was before. The Merkava is now done. I say done. Every time I look at it, I keep thinking, oh, I could just add this and I could just add that, and I think I'm going to gradually get to the process where it's getting too much, and it's just going to look ridiculous. I mean, I've put the Merkava on the Dio now. It will be added when in a bit where you'll have a look at it on the Dio, and I don't know, I just feel the Merkava is a bit big for the actual thing with the figures when the figures get added. But I suppose, you know, it's just a small Dio that's just going to tell a bit of a story, that's all. The Diorama, I've added a few more bits onto from what you've seen before. It's now done. I've just got to take the masking tape off the photo frame sides, and I just need to add the figures and the tank. The tank's easy because I won't attach it properly to it, I never do. I just add it on so that if I ever do wish to take it or enter it somewhere, I can just take it off and transport it separate. Again, I'm still relatively new to these dioramas. I've been doing them now for 2 years, but it sounds a long time, but really I've done 4, 5, if that, in 2 years. So I mean, if you count it to the likes of Mike Cohen and Chalky White and people like that, you know, they're diorama kings, you know, they reel them off. So yeah, this year hopefully, depending on tomorrow, I will be doing a couple more. But as I said in my video of what's ahead and all that, I don't want to tie myself down and add extra stress to a project with necessarily doing a diorama for every single one that I build. Beforehand I used to love doing the odd build and just adding it to the shelf, you know, no story behind it or anything. So yeah, what I'll do is, this is the webcam, so I'll swap the cameras over and I'll put it so you can see it from a bit closer, and we'll point a few things out, and we'll go through what other bits I haven't gone through. I might repeat myself from what I've done in the previous video, but I can't really remember that, so we'll do it that way. So I'll see you in a minute. So right guys, okay, so here is the Merkava on the diorama base. As you can see, I've hopefully you'll tell by the title of the diorama, it's called Protecting the Strip, and this is basically just a sort of, here's the Gaza sort of blast barriers, the big large Jersey barriers, and it's on a bit of a you know, a bit of a bank, and there's rubbish all dumped here, a bits more rubbish here, there's a mattress, I don't know if you pick that up, a plastic sort of patio chair there, a few oil canisters, I don't know if you can pick, if it'll pick that up here, but just here is a Coca-Cola box, a couple more, let's see if I can get it in shot. Oh, hang on a minute. So here, oh hang on, where are we now? It's going out of shot if I do that. So if you look, just there is the Coca-Cola box, just there, and you've got like a couple of resin oil canisters, a spring, and some cleaning fluid bottles there. And then I don't know if you can pick it up here. No, you can't. We'll just move the camera slightly, sorry. Just here. Let's turn it around and zoom in for you. There you go. Here is the, just here is the patio chair with some metal sort of bits. Let's zoom back out, it might be a bit better. There you go. That's a little bit better there. You've got a couple of, like, you've got a mattress there that's been dumped, a patio chair, plastic chair, and like a bit of metal sort of roofing and that. And then up here, you've, well, on the rubbish dump just here. Sorry guys, as you can tell, I'm brilliant at this video recording. Again, let's get a pointy stick. Let's get a pointy stick. So here you've got a couple of rubbish bags that are dumped, and then some bits of rubbish have been left around. There's a bit of scaffolding pipe there and some bits of brick and all that type of thing. The rubbish bags, I've just basically tied a pebble into some actual rubbish. Some rubbish bags, which is just a simple method. Let's come and zoom back out so you can see it again. Ooh, I'll set all this up so I won't have to move it. What a knobhead, he says. So yeah, so basically it's just a bit of plastic bag and then a pebble from in the back garden. I mean, this is a bit small for it. And just wrap it up and then tie it up, bit of super glue at the top, and that's all that was. Quite a simple method. These bits of that you see here, leaves and that, is just basically from the garden. Some bits in the garden that's dried and makes it look a bit like summertime. The bits of off-cutting and ruffle here, leaves and all that type of stuff, is just basically Tesco's mixed herbs. Quite a simple little thing, but if you look at that, it's all good, sort of looks like ground work and that. The sand and all and those bits is just the AK desert bits. Let's move this light a bit so you can see what I'm sort of doing. So yeah, that's the AK bits, and the bricks and stuff were just broken up from some diorama debris bits that I've got. I don't know if you'll pick up on the light there because of the backing. Let's just see if I can turn it round. You can pick it up here. If you just see here on top of the barbed wire, there's some bits more of rubbish bags. These are just bits of the rubbish bag that I've made earlier. I've just ripped a few bits up and added them on top of the barbed wire as though the wind's blown and it's caught on the barbed wiring. You do see that quite a lot, and on the reference pictures I've got, and I've been, you know, me and my books and stuff, I've been properly researching. You can see lots of bits of rubbish attached to the top of these barriers. On the Merkava, I've now added splashes and that to down the sides of the tank, so hopefully you can, I don't know if you'll see that, but let's just move the light in a bit. All here is bits of oil streaking and splashes and that now. I've added some stowage. There's like a rucksack attached to there now. If you see these bits of paint splashes all on the sides, well, I've seen a couple of pictures of like Palestinians and that throwing bricks and debris and bottles of paint and all sorts at the I.D.F while they're on guard and stuff, in vehicles as they pass by. So I thought that might be a nice little effect to try and capture. So that's like sort of, you know, bits of brick have been thrown and it's all caught on top of the tank and everything. Can't really see there, can you? You know, so like here, there's bits there, there's like a water bottle that's been dropped on top, and then all the other bits of debris. There's also photo etch on the lighting guards now. That's to protect them. Now there is actually on the viewfinder here, on the gunner's range sight, there's actually a lot of these Merkavas have sort of cages around now to protect against that, but I couldn't find anything anywhere to sort of add that on. But it don't matter, it's, you know, it's not perfect and I don't claim to be. I've now added the aerial points on each part of the Merkava, on the lower hull. You see that on a lot of the pictures. And now on the stowage at the back here, you've got like a Sprite can box, a water drinks bottle, you know, like a cooler, a Red Bull box of cans, and a water bottle there. What is going to be added also is I'm going to add, I meant to do it beforehand, there's a little laptop which is going to be stuck there. And what else have I got? Oh, there's another water bottle, which is one of those. It's like from a Meng set, I believe, which is just one of those, which is there. But I'm going to actually add that sort of here as though they've been drinking with it, because the tanks sort of come to a standstill, and then there's going to be I.D.F crew which are going to be walking around all the, you know, there's going to be one kneeling down here, and the tank commander, I can't decide whether I'm going to leave him in the turret hatch there or down talking to the guy, you know, the radio guy from the I.D.F, which I'll show you in a bit. There's all sort of like beer bottles that have stuck here. I've had to dust them up though, because obviously it's sort of rubbish and it's been dumped for days, so I need to make it look a bit dirty, so I've used oils. I've put a few oil streaks onto here, onto the barriers, and I've also added a bit of oil streaks and little bits like that, you know, that have just been splashed up or whatever. There's an oil canister here that's been spilt, and there's also one down there. And again on this side of the Merkava, I don't know if you'll pick it up, let's just have a quick look at the camera. You might pick up here, there's more paint being splashed up the sides, and there's now some barbed wiring that I've attached to there, and again on the back near the CCTV tower, there's a bit more paint. I've also now added the camouflage net, which is an AK camouflage net. I don't know if you can just see that. You can't, which is here, and that's now got tied down rope over it, and there's also rope over the stowage. Now that rope is basically, let's have a look where we are. The rope that I've used to tie down the stowage is this. It's like sort of natural silk. And it doesn't bow or sort of, you know, thread. So on some, if you use some string for your stowage, over time it will sort of start to fray. This won't, because it's silk, it's natural silk, and it comes, there's loads of different sizes. I think I actually got that from Cohen. I think Mike told me about that, or Chalky will have done, one or the other. So I ordered a few of those. On some of the aerials, a lot of the aerials on Merkavas and that are tied down in real life, so I've tried to capture that on a couple. So I've used, basically I wanted to try some of the rigging stuff from MIG, so I've tried that. It's like elastic cord. It's actually the Ushi Van Rosten stuff, but MIG have obviously named it theirs. Yeah, it's quite good actually. I've used it on my Focke-Wulf, on my Zero I did for the antenna wire on that, and yeah, it seems okay. It's not bad stuff. I'll definitely use it again. What else have we used? A bit of chain for the front there, and a sort of old tyre off another old build that I've got, which I've stuck on the front there. There's a couple of flags that I added a flag onto there, which is the sort of decals I've said in the previous videos, like decals, but you sort the wet dry decals. So you put them, you lie them down, and you sort of scratch the back of them, and they sort of bed down that way. Dry transfers are they or something. That's what basically that flag is there on the back of the Merkava. The aerials I normally use are sort of guitar wire and stuff like that, but this time I've used the plastic rod for them, and I've added Meng's water bottles onto there for sort of ID purposes that they used to use in the Gulf and Afghan. You know, the Americans used it, so I thought, well, why not? We can use it as well. Just give it a go on there on the I.D.F. Why not? I've added the one thing that was missing off the last time I did it was, although this is in the Gaza Strip, it is very hot and dry, but there is a lot of greenery, which I haven't sort of emulated. It's all dark and dead, sort of, you know, apart from the palm tree that I've built. So I've added a few bits of grass, green grass tufts with a bit of coloured tips. Now they are ones that I always tend to use. But you know, they are definitely worth investing in. I mean, if you do them yourself, then do them yourself because they're a lot cheaper. But the green ones are these Meg Ammo small bushes for spring. And I've had them for about 3 or 4 years, and I've still got quite a few left. The ones with bits of colour on are just basically Jarvis Scenics. And the dry ones are these 12mm AK dry step tufts. And then some of the dry fern that you can see around is actually these AK again, dry fern. The other bits that are dry is some of the plant that I showed you that I picked off when I've been taking the dog for a walk and stuff. Just been picking bits up. I'm sorry if I'm not 100% sort of fluent when I'm talking. I'm not completely with it today. I just don't feel great. It's just a bit worries on me thing and that, so I apologise for that, guys, but I feel a bit joddery and I don't know why. So anyway, by the by, get back to it. So now I've also dusted up one sort of side more than the other, which is where the road, the sort of pathway is on the palm tree. That's just basic, simple. I just got the airbrush and sort of sprayed it up one side, you know, just to make it look a bit more realistic. And that's really it, to be fair, on the Merkava and the Diorama. I mean, the next one will be the final reveal, and it'll be the figures. So I'm just going to stick you on pause, and I will get the figures, and I'll show you the figures. Okay, guys. So the figures. So these are the figures. This is the tank commander. So let's sort of see if we can get you a good zooming in picture, he says. Oh. Okay. So he is your tank commander. Now I haven't added any washes or gloss or anything to him yet. This is just basically him all painted now. I've managed to pit the eyes out. I mean, it looks a bit boggle-eyed and that, but you know, and I've put the shades up on the boots as well. Ooh, wrong way, up there. Put the shades up on the boots. I don't know if you'll pick that up. I mean, I'm no figure painter at all. I really aren't, but I'm quietly happy. Sort of picked out sort of creases on there and highlights out on bits of the. That's the tank commander, so that's sort of done. The paints I use for my figures are usually the model colour and Panzer Aces. However, I have been tried these sets for the uniforms. I've used some of them, but they're very watery, these paints are, and I always use this for the skin tones because they're very watery, so you know, you can blend them and you can, you know, it's not too bad, but I use those. So the first one of the Merkava soldiers. Now these are going to be portraying special forces. Now the I.D.F special forces do tend to wear these mesvinets or whatever they're called, I think, on the helmets. A lot use those and a lot don't use them. Now this guy has got a sort of flag just dripping out of his rucksack at the back. I thought that'd be a nice little touch, as though it's sort of sticking out, and it's, I don't know, it's aircraft or aircraft identification panel or something like that. I thought I'd use just, you know, something different, gives it something else, the person something else to look at. The faces, I haven't missed or slipped with the green. That is actually supposed to be camo paint on there, and on his sort of hands that obviously get blended in when he gets to wash, but that's the Israeli flag. So I thought that'd be a nice little touch, and I didn't want them to have the same, everyone have exactly the same uniforms. So that would be the first one. This is the second one. Now a lot of the Israeli special forces wear these sort of tops and this sort of colour, so I don't know. But I mean, you can pick out, you can see some of the, I don't know, I mean the lights, I mean this lighting on this bedroom here is not great at all, I'm afraid. I mean it's okay, it's not brilliant, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Oh, hey up, his head's come off. But I've tried to pick out sort of bits and bobs of the uniforms. I don't know if that'll zoom in. There we go. So, you know, I've picked the creases out, I've added a few of the stripes of the markings of what rank he is, his watch is on. I've got some sort of creasing on his knee pad, his laces on his shoes, and then some of the buckles on the back of the rucksack. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm no figure painter at all, but you know, they're okay, they'll do. And then the other one, now a lot of the IDF don't necessarily use the rifles now that are the same sort of rifles that they use. A lot of them do use the M2, the M16s and that. So I've added a different rifle in his hand, in the radio controller's hand. Now I've added an aerial, as you can see, onto the back of that soldier, camouflaged again, strapping on his rifle, and then I've added a wire just here that goes from his handset in his hand round to the radio pack at the back. Like I say, I'm happy with him, so that'll do me. And then of course he's got camo on his face, and then just basically the same. I've added some highlights onto his mezvanettes there. And one thing I have tried and I wanted to show you is this little technique I've got. Now this is a Meng drinks water bottle. Now I've made it look like a Coke water bottle. Now what I've done is, let's see if we can get it. See, so now all I've done is just added a bit of chipping onto the red label to make it look like it says Coke. Now if you see, it looks like it's actually got Coke in. Now if you want to go to the detail that I've gone to, now this little technique, I thought to myself, I sat there for ages at the bench thinking, if I paint the outside of it, you're going to tell that it's just going to look naff. So what I thought is I've got a drill, and I've drilled the inside of the water bottle and filled it with black paint to make it look like there's a bit of Coke still in it. And I'm actually quite impressed with that, and I've impressed myself with it. So as you could tell, yeah, so you know me, I never big up my own work, but I am actually quite pleased with that bit. So yeah, if you ever want to give yourself a drinks water bottle and make it look like it's got Coke in, or orange for some tango, or Fanta or something, or squash, then get a little drill bit, drill the bottom, and drill as far in as you want it to look full, and then get a nice thin brush and fill it up with paint of the colour that you want your liquid to look like, and there you go. So yeah, that's my little drinks method. So there you go, guys. So apart from having to stick the head now back onto that geezer I just dropped, we'll call him Lenny, I'm quite happy with what we've got there. So there you go, guys. So that is update 2. Just to say as well, this tank commander here is actually a Verlinden one, and it's actually from Lebanon 82, but a lot of the tank gear is still the same, so I thought, why not, I'll use him. I've just updated a few of the pouches around on his cradle, so yeah, there you go. I've got a couple more M16s ready for them, which are here, which I've painted up and add straps to. That's one. And then I've also got a couple of the Israeli rifles all ready to go. I've just got to paint the strapping to the right colour, so I might use them. Now what that is just basically very, very thin masking tape, and I'll show you in a minute what masking tape it is I use. And also there's one more assault rifle there, which is got grenade launcher underneath, and it's painted in the brown with a bit of black on. And again, I've got to paint the strapping, and that is basically this tape. Let's zoom back out again, guys. It's this tape. It's called Jammy Dog, and you can get it in 0.5mm, 1mm and 0.75mm. And you know, I just cut little strips off, stick a bit of super glue on the end of it, let it dry for a day or so, and then just give it a paint. And then you can even get a little bit of tin foil and wrap it around part of it to make it look like it's a buckle or something, or you can get another bit of this and stick it around to make it look like a buckle. I don't bother half the time, I just stick it on. But yeah, so that's the stuff I use. I don't know where I get this from. I mean, it's www.jammydog.com. I think it's British actually, and it's about, I don't know, it's quite cheap anyway, and it's good tape. You can even use it for tying down stuff on tanks. So there you go. Right guys, so that's update 2. The next update will probably be a final reveal. It might not be for a couple of weeks for various reasons, but it's just the way it is, I'm afraid. Touch wood, everything goes okay. So and also I've got a update, or a monthly update, that I'm hoping to get back to doing each month, all written down, ready to go, with shout outs and you know, kit releases, what I've had the month and whatever else. So anyway guys, hope you're well, hope you all stay safe, and may the force be with you. Bye guys, bye.